Okay, we are live. He's playing with my tech. He's playing with my tech. Okay.
Hi everybody.
Hey guys.
We are in the sunshine with 25 degrees here on the Goldie.
It is 20. It's a glorious 25.
Sun in my eyes.
Right, and of course, as usual, we have. Oh God, we just lost our light here. We can't see you. We can't see you. You can see us. Anyway.
Yeah. Tommy G.
Yeah, Adrian Hanks. And you've got the BX head going right there too.
BX on.
Right.
Yeah, we've been to a network marketing meeting this morning.
We have.
Is that lunch?
We just make sure you get in the frame there.
Yeah.
My friend. So we are talking about the spiritualogical, because it's that part of the week.
Yeah,
we are on Freedom Friday.
Yeah, we are Freedom Friday.
Right.
There's a seagull behind us.
We have because of the angle here. We'll just give a bit of. There we go. This is where we are. We should have set this up differently. But anyway,
we're in Southport.
We're in Southport, right? There you are. And we are talking about the spiritualogical and non-verbal communication.
Oh.
Kind of fits better than the physiological one. I was, as usual, given, I get the knuckle dragging one at the beginning of the week.
You get the toughy end. Yeah.
Right, and you get the sexy end.
Well, it's because it's Freedom Friday. It's like,
right, you get that too, right? I get, okay, everybody, move it. It's Move It Monday, Yeah. So,
well, you might evolve, mate.
I might evolve from a knuckle dragger. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I love you too. But the connection between those, obviously not as tenuous as mine is, right? And it's funny, because you think of the spiritualogical and you look at non-verbal communication, and non-verbal communication, there is something actually spiritual about it.
Totally, it is. Yeah.
It's not a hard measurable thing. It's not all the noise that's coming out of here. Yeah. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah. Well, thinking isn't tangible.
Make sure I don't get crapped on by seagulls. All right?
Yeah, thinking isn't tangible, is it? Like, we can't take a thought and hold it.
No, right.
Yeah.
And a feeling.
And a feeling isn't tangible. We can't actually grow a feeling and hold it.
No.
Yeah. So when we get into the spiritualogical, we have to say, where does that begin? At what point from the human point of communication do we call it, verbal communication?
Right.
And non-verbal.
Non-verbal.
And for me, it begins in the thinking. Because when we communicate with ourselves, in the thinking space, we're communicating with ourselves.
It's the junction box again,
right?
Yeah,
the thought comes.
Yep.
I connect with my thought. I have a conversation with myself, usually around the thought.
Yep.
Oh, I've got a thought about creating something.
Right.
I'm already in communication with myself.
Right.
But the question is, who or what am I communicating with?
Right.
And for me, it leads back to the spiritualogical.
Right.
Because the thoughts that come down, where do they come from? Where do they come from?
Where are they coming from?
Yeah, for me, they come from the spiritual world. The non-tangible.
So we're talking about the quantum
source, field. Yeah, comes from source. Yep. And I think it was Steven Spielberg. He was asked once about writing E.T.
Right.
And he said, "How did you come up with E.T.?" He said, "I just wrote it down quicker than everybody else. I got the same message."
Wow.
Because we all get that.
Right.
We all get that. To give you an idea, Tommy, I've been writing a book for the last 4.5 years.
Yeah, right.
2084. Guess what's coming out this year? A movie called 2084.
Right.
Not mine.
Not yours.
I wasn't quick enough.
Right. Isn't that funny?
I simply wasn't quick enough.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and it's not like, today
else.
is, there's no, we're in 2020, so there's no correlation to 2084 in terms of I need to do that now.
Right.
It's just the same message comes through across the planet.
Yep.
A few of us grab it.
Yep.
And it's a race to the finish line.
Well, it's interesting because you look at, where the world is right now, right? And this CV, this thing that's going on, right? And there just seems to be this mass awakening, you want to call it, or ascendancy, quantum leap, if you will.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Right,
potentially.
Yeah.
I'm going to err on the optimist.
Yeah, me too. I'm the eternal optimist.
Right? Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that to the viewers.
I wasn't here to come.
And do you know why it's potential? Right. Because it depends on us all.
Well, it does. And you're nodding.
All of us.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody on here, everybody listening in, watching in. It depends on us on all. Yeah. If we're going to jump in that quantum field, if we're going to take it to the next parallel, we all have to be in it together. We need that mass, the critical mass.
We do. There's some things we need to break.
Yeah.
Some things are breaking. The cracks are appearing. Yeah. There are some things that are breaking that certain people don't want breaking.
Yes. Yeah.
And so we're getting that polarity starting to happen. Right? And the old paradigm, as you would call it, versus the new paradigm. New paradigm seems a lot more exciting.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But
it's the unknown.
Right, it's the unknown.
That's scary.
That's crazy. It's like you and me.
Love it. Love it.
We enjoy it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where's my torch?
Yeah, what's down here, Now and then you'll bump into a little wall, but you'll live,
Yeah.
right? And you probably learn from that
Got a
experience.
few bumps.
Right, a few bumps, yeah. As you can
Few
see,
scars, yeah.
our solar panels for sex machines.
Yeah.
So
You slipped that one in.
yeah, I
didn't
did, didn't I? Yeah. Anyway, thanks for putting extra emphasis on it.
Yeah.
If we're going to, the seagulls are noisy around
Yeah,
here.
they
Aren't
were,
they?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
adding to the atmosphere. As long
Yeah.
as one of us doesn't get crapped on, that can be very funny. Apparently, in the Greek mythology,
Yeah.
if the bird shit on you, then that means you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's good luck.
Right?
Yeah.
It's good luck. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on over, everybody. Right.
Come
Yeah,
check.
feed them more chips.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So,
Spiritualogical.
spiritualogical. So when we talk about non-verbal being closer to spiritual, and we're going into business.
Yep.
It's a pretty unspiritual place to be today.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring
Right.
something in that many businesses are embracing now, and
Right.
I do it myself when I'm working with people in the business space.
Yeah.
It's what I call the mastermind. Napoleon Hill wrote about this in 1938.
All right.
It wasn't new. He didn't invent it.
Okay.
He just brought the idea forward. Henry Ford and all those people, they used it. Yeah.
Interesting.
And what they do, they collect a bunch of people together,
Right.
and they sit and they create. And what they do, they open up to the spiritual influence,
Right.
of, if you like, the right brain creative space.
Yep.
And they open up to creativity, waiting for inspiration.
Right.
Now, inspiration, it either comes from within
Right.
or from without.
Or from, right.
And it's hard to define, to be honest.
Right.
To give you an example, Tommy,
Yeah.
I was sitting in Byron Bay probably about 9-10 months ago now, in what I call my creative meditation,
Right.
and started squiggling in the sand with a stick.
Right.
And now my game that I've produced, called Play Sam,
Yep.
is with IP Australia. It's being trademarked. I just saw my lawyer this morning.
Okay.
And that came from a creative meditation space.
There we go.
Now, did that idea come from within or from without?
Right.
For me, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's still a spiritual connection.
Right.
So, and I believe we've all got spiritual impulses and creativity within, but it's about having the freedom to unlock it.
Right.
Where most people get caught up is not having the time, this time expansion,
Not giving it the time.
giving it the time to sit in that space. Because when we learn to sit in that space, and what I do, I help people to create that spiritual guidance, if you like, or spiritual team.
Yep.
The example is, I go into a meditative space.
Yep.
I'm in a room.
Yep.
I invite my beings in. Now, they could be spirit beings, or they could be people I know who I trust that would give me
A spiritual team.
Yep. So they would give me information that I asked for
Right.
in the quantum field, because
Right.
they're not there physically.
Yep.
And I've
Different dimension.
different dimensions. So I've asked permission from those people if I can use their energy
How are you connected to them?
through my meditative process.
Meditation.
Yep.
Right.
Through
Up
being
through
open, by being open.
Pineal gland, the two little crystals there,
Yep.
frequency.
Yep. By being open to
Right.
to frequency.
Right.
And then I'll either put a question, an issue, or a challenge forward,
Right.
or an idea.
Yep.
And I'll ask either collectively the group of people in that space with me,
Right.
or individually. And I usually have a pen and a paper, and I wait for the answer. Sometimes the answer is crystal clear, and sometimes it's like a bit gibberish,
Right.
and sometimes it doesn't quite make sense at the time. And I'll write it down, and I'll mull it over for a few days, and I usually come up with an answer to a question, an issue, or a challenge in my life.
Putting it in the back where 96% of the capacity is for the brain.
And that's what I use. I use that untapped potential of
Right.
myself
Yep.
and the untapped potential of the quantum field.
Right.
But it's about having a strategy around doing it.
Yep.
It's about creating the space to put yourself in there and trusting it.
And putting it out there, so to speak,
Yeah.
as people would say. Is this coming to you like in the middle of the night?
Well, no, I set
Are
it up.
you
I
in
set
the
it
toilet?
up. No, I set it up consciously.
Right.
I create that space. So I'm going to give myself an hour or half an hour to create that space.
You're creating space.
Yep. And I go into a meditative space. I visualize the room.
Yep.
I close the door.
Yep.
They're all walking or sitting around, and I've got a team. I like to work in about a team of 7.
Right.
And
Yep.
they're all written down of who they are.
Yep.
They're either spiritual or Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
For instance, could be part of my thing. Could be
Okay.
Gandhi.
Right.
Could be anybody that I feel I would trust
Right.
in real life.
Yeah.
And then we can go into the spiritual realm if you like, calling in, Jesus or whatever
Right.
faith you're in.
Yeah.
And trusting that energetically,
Yep.
they're going to be in that space.
Right. So we're back to energy, right?
Back to what electricity is energy.
It's all energy.
Well,
Everything right now.
we are talking, and through here, what's connecting us?
Yep.
Energy.
Yeah.
A frequency.
And we are.
Yeah. An image of you and I is traveling tens of
And we're a
thousands of
hologram.
kilometers.
We're a different frequency hologram.
Yeah. And bits of us have been pixelated.
Yep. demodulated,
Yeah, yeah.
pixelated,
Yeah. That's energy.
and then the eyes go
Yeah.
and interpret it.
Yeah, yeah.
They're looking at a hologram of whatever device they're looking at.
Yeah, they're not looking at you
That's
and
been
I
the image.
in reality.
No.
Like, they can't touch it.
No, it's just an interpretation.
And yet the mind says that's real.
And this goes through, right now it's going up and through 4G at the moment.
Yeah.
Goes up
So satellite.
into electrical
Yep.
signals,
Yep.
right?
We get depixelated. We hit a
Depixelated.
satellite.
Yep.
It gets put back together again.
Gets put back together.
So in essence, we're time traveling. You know.
We are.
Yeah. So people say, does time travel
the
exist? I
energy
said,
is.
totally does.
Right, because before you're saying, finding the time, but then if you're in the quantum,
Yeah.
I mean, there is no time and
No,
space.
because you are getting me a nanosecond after I speak.
Right.
That's time traveling.
Yeah.
Through a device, through
It
energy.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's real.
Or there is no time and there is no space.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that,
yeah.
In that case.
Yeah. Or we are in different dimensions at the same time.
Right. Right.
And that's a whole nother.
How's your brain
conversation.
going now?
Yeah, yeah. So
Right.
back to non-verbal communication.
Yeah.
When I'm in that space and I'm communicating with my team,
Yep.
and Napoleon Hill talks about this. He wrote, Think and Grow Rich in 1938.
Right.
Well,
1938, and it's still
relevant.
Such a fundamental.
And people are still not catching up to it.
Right.
Still,
Well, there's a lot of learnings,
struggling
a lot
with
of things about that.
Still struggling
There's a
with
lot of medical stuff that's about to come through that's
Yeah.
been held back for a long time
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
What's been holding it back? Oh, that could take us right down another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
The CIA having to release stuff out of
Yeah.
Area 51
Yeah.
of things that are going to be disruptive to the medical industry
Oh,
and
there's a lot of
economies,
things, yeah.
right? That it potentially can destroy current economies.
Yeah.
We are in a very interesting time right now.
Yeah. Look, if we go back, just even say 2,000 years to, not to bring any religion to it, Jesus and the Essenes.
Yeah.
And we go back. There were a group of people in the Middle East called the Therapeutics.
Yep.
And they were a bit like the Essenes. They were into healing. That's where the word therapeutic comes from.
Yeah.
So they were a group of people who learnt the healing arts.
Right.
And a lot of it was hands-on healing, sound healing.
Yep.
There were thousands of years ago, and then they got lost. And it was all energy frequency. In the Bible, hands-on healing and
How did it get lost and why?
greed, money, ego.
Certain dark forces came in
Yeah.
from somewhere.
Yeah. And
A few names could be mentioned.
and
but
materialized. Everything
Yeah.
got materialized.
3D world
Yeah,
stuff.
got into a 3D world.
Control,
Yeah. So
program people,
Yeah.
mainstream media.
Sorat, Araman. There's lots of
Right.
spiritual names for these beings that come down and are doing
Okay.
this.
Right.
Solidifying.
And they're existing right now in different dimensions.
I
too,
believe
right
so.
now, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been studying that for 30 years myself, and for me, it's real. Real enough. I mean,
Right.
I see it.
Right,
It's happening on the planet.
right.
And-
Yeah.
It's either it's not happening or it is happening.
Yeah.
Make your mind up.
Well, there's a bit of
Yeah.
warfare that's come into the three-dimensional world now.
Oh yeah.
And we're seeing really the third or fourth. If you think we had the third when the Twin Towers happened, and that became a religious type of new form of
Coming up on September 11, by the way. The
non-nationalistic,
was that 2001?
Yeah,
That's 19 years ago.
everything became non-nationalistic,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden became the terrorism stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
That seems to be passe now.
Yeah.
The focus on different things, but we seem to be having a lot of digital warfare right now.
Yeah.
Right, it seems to be an info war
Yeah.
that's going on.
Yeah, totally. It is,
Right?
Yeah.
So we're at a different level there from
Yeah.
killing each other.
Yeah.
although
And what
some of the
used to be
effects are gonna
left, what
impact
used to be
people
left is
significantly.
right, and what used to be right is now left.
Yeah, it's
And
flipping upside down.
The bird is upside down. But for
It's
me, it's
flipping
like
upside down.
it's not about being left wing or right wing.
Yeah.
It's what's the brain in the bird doing?
Right. And so really,
Yeah.
to get through this, we have to connect all up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You
Two
know,
wings,
this separation,
one body, one
this is
head,
all
two
mine,
legs.
Right?
It's got to be the whole bird.
Everything's got to connect.
It's not
up.
just two wings.
Yeah.
It's like what's driving the wings? Well, it's something in the brain.
Yeah, it's all connected.
And so here's a question for you.
Yeah.
And I love this one. We talk about non-verbal communication.
Yep.
Let's take a flock of birds.
Yep.
That fly,
Oh,
4,000 kilometers,
this is interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
all in formation.
Yep.
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 From front to back, they all swap. They all take those.
Yep.
They don't bump into each other,
They don't talk to each
and
other.
they don't talk.
Yeah.
So
How do they know?
they're in what I call the etheric space.
Right.
The
Right.
chi energy space, the light
Yep.
space.
Yep.
And they're alive in that. They feel it. They get it.
Yep.
Because they don't have an ego.
Right.
They don't have a
That's-
choice.
This very point.
So ego and choice are what humans differ from in any other species on the planet.
Right.
We have free choice.
Right.
So right now, with that free choice, how can we trust?
Right. Because we're using
That-
the gap. We're using the space between
Yeah.
stimulus and response.
Yeah.
Is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Whereas animals don't get to do that. And
No, they don't. No.
the good side of that is they don't hold grudges
No.
or have these things that are keeping them tied to the dock either
No.
on historical things that happened.
No
They don't
past,
think
no
like that.
future.
Yeah, you know,
It's just in and out.
yeah.
Right now, I
They
need to
dodged a
eat.
bullet. They don't
Yeah.
get PTSD.
No,
Right.
I need to eat
Right.
and
That's it.
fly
They're in the present.
and you know,
They are totally present.
yeah, and have sex and legs.
Right. Sex next, right? Whereas we're thinking forward,
Oh.
we're thinking backwards. We're spending like 90% plus of our time there and not
Waste
present.
of time.
But with that, we have this. What comes with that, and the other side of it
Yeah.
is this freedom of choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And so there's a book called Stealing Fire,
Yeah.
and it's making its way through all the cool, funky IT companies and whatever right now, and it talks about, to your point, sustainable peak flow states, and they talk about the Navy SEALs, and when they're going on some of these sorties, and there's like 6 or 7 of them or whatever, that they get into this flow state where, like the birds, all know what they're doing. They are there. Become totally present. They get off on that feeling.
Yeah, and we can all do that, particularly in business. And I was lucky enough to work in an organisation many years ago,
United,
the Gawler Foundation down in Victoria with Ian Gawler, Dr. Ian Gawler, and all the staff every morning. Yeah, 20 minutes of meditation. It was part of the deal of working there.
Right.
You got your choice, free choice, of course. If you didn't want to, it was okay. But every morning, 9 a.m. Sit down 20 minutes, the whole staff, meditation, and what a great way to start the day. Clear the mind, get clear, you know. Meditation is connecting to spirit, non-verbal communication. So we do need to wrap.
The corporate world's getting ripped off. All the potential that's being left on the table for people to actually fulfill their full potential for their purpose, and therefore then business will
So my ending message today is find a way to tune in with non-verbal communication from, let's call it the spiritualogical, let's say it as it is. I don't want to hide anymore from the spirit's been done for too long. We have to accept that there's physical, emotional, mental and spiritual, and getting some guidance around that. So if anybody out there wants some guidance on that, you know, talk to myself, talk to Tommy, come and engage, come and connect, bring us into the business, bring us into the company. Let's sit and work out a strategy, a plan to do that connection. Because it's like driving a car with 3 tires and 3 wheels instead of 4. You might have the physical, emotional, mental, but if you haven't got the spiritual, it's like it's a wobbly car.
Well, and the same thing, the 3-legged stool, eating, moving and sleeping, right? If that ain't happening and they connect with the seat is the brain, that connects into the emotional, mental and spiritual.
Take one away and you fall off.
Falls off.
So let's get holistic with this. I know Tommy and I are probably, taking this out a bit wider than often happens in the
belief systems. Maybe believe right now.
So let's change it. Let's change the paradigm. All right. On that note, I do have to fly. It's been one of those days today on Freedom Friday. So Adrian's going to be the timekeeper today.
I'm going to meditate.
Yes, I'm the timekeeper. Let's say goodbye to everybody.
All right.
Cheers, everybody.
Have
Thanks
a great
for tuning in
weekend.
again.
We'll see you on Monday. All right. Bye. Eventually. Okay, there it is.